ladies and gentlemen, I am the man of your dreams. Excuse me, I meant Lawrence, a British business owner. My United Kingdom corporation negotiated a sweet deal, a 5-year contract to purchase some computers from a U.S. computer company. Oh, that's the mythical creature that I spoke to. He was quite kind to me, genteel if I may say. They've allowed us to buy computers for the next 5 years at the current U.S. prices, as long as we promise to buy a certain quantity. Frankly, I could not have asked for a smaller certain quantity. I had no idea what a great deal I was binding myself to. Confused? Here, let me explain. Basically, I've been guaranteed a set of fixed prices for those computers. Now, no matter how much inflation may raise prices in either Britain or in the U.S., my investments in these computers will be well protected. Wasn't that a great deal?
Yes, it was!
Hey, you seem pretty happy there. But dude, if I may ask, what's this inflation that you're talking about? I know people complain about it, but I don't really understand.
I asked that same question.
Allow me to fill in your lack of knowledge. You're right to be suspicious about inflation. It actually really isn't a bad thing. It simply refers to a broad increase in prices across many goods and services in an economy or GDP over a long period of time. That doesn't sound really bad, does it? A little inflation can be a good thing for the economy, but high inflation involves a loss of purchasing power. That means the amount of goods that you can buy with a set amount of money decreases.
Oh, that sounds pretty terrible. But what causes inflation, and why is it so hard to control?
My, you seem to have a lot of questions, dear. But no matter, I shall take this time to enlighten you. There are 2 different theories about the creation of inflation. There's cost-push inflation and demand-pull inflation. Cost-push inflation occurs when any of the costs of the 4 factors of production, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship increases, leading to a decrease in supply and an increase in price level. Demand-pull inflation occurs when the 4 macroeconomic sectors, household, business, government, and foreign demand more than what economy is able to produce, leading to buyers bidding for supply and driving up the prices.
But how is it even possible to measure the inflation in a country? I mean, we have millions of goods and services. How do we know when the GDP is increasing and not just the price of some individual goods increasing?
I like the way you think. And you're right, we have a lot of different measurements for calculating inflation. We have the GDP deflator and the consumer price index.
One more question. You said earlier a little inflation really isn't a bad thing, but what if there's too much inflation or too little inflation? Is there nothing we can do to save our precious economy?
Of course, don't fret. There are 2 types of policies that can be put into place in order to prevent the death of the economy. Fiscal policy or monetary policy. Fiscal policy is debated in Congress and can either result in a tax change or a change in government spending. Monetary policy is decided by the Federal Reserve, and it controls the money supply to target the optimal interest rate that promotes economic growth and stability. Congress uses a contractionary fiscal policy to decrease inflation. By decreasing government expenditures or transfer payments and/or raising taxes, aggregate demand is decreased, which leads to lower price levels. This works along with a contractionary monetary policy in which the Fed raises the federal funds rate, or Federal Reserve requirement, to contract the money supply. Contracting the money supply will lead to higher interest rate, discouraging investment and therefore decreasing aggregate demand. During a recession, the economy needs a little stimulation to get it up and going. Here, Congress uses an expansionary fiscal policy to close the recessionary gap and decrease unemployment. Congress increases government expenditures, transfer payments, and decrease taxes, leading to an increase in aggregate demand. The Fed can also use open market operations to buy U.S. securities, decrease the discount rate and reserve requirements to inject money into the money supply, to decrease interest rates and encourage investment. This will lead to an increase in aggregate demand.
So, right, what was that again? Price protection? Oh, blimey, that's some good stuff. Didn't have that sort of mind-boggling deal back in Britain. Long live the Queen!